What's happening, everyone? By the way, now the Oppo A93 just got launched a little while ago, literally yesterday from when I'm recording this, and I'm here to tell you that you shouldn't buy it. Why? It's quite simple, really. It's a rebranded phone, so we've already seen this phone twice actually, and I'll get into that later on in the video. The second point is that it's actually not giving you enough value for the money you're paying for it, which is closer to almost $340. And also, its specs are a little bit run down. Now, that was it in a nutshell for anyone who is in a hurry to check why you shouldn't buy this. Now, if you're actually interested in why you shouldn't buy this phone, keep watching the video. Now, the first thing I talked about is the fact that we've already seen this phone before in person. We've seen it in the form of the Reno 3 Lite and also the Oppo F17 Pro. Like, what's actually very funny to me is the fact that they didn't do anything different in these phones. They didn't change the design, they didn't do anything. They just basically carried the same phone and launched again at a pretty high price for the specs that you're getting. I don't understand why this is so, but let's keep going. Now, if you don't know the specs of these phones, let me give you a quick rundown. It has a 6.4-inch OLED, no high refresh rate screen. That's a 1080p panel. It has 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of internal storage, UFS 2.1 grade storage. It's running the MediaTek Helio P95. It has a 48 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel depth and 2 megapixel macro. Also has a 16 megapixel and 2 megapixel selfie camera in a pill-shaped hole punch, 4000 mAh battery, boasts of 18 watts charging, and that's basically it. Now, if you look at these specs and you check the asking price, it's sort of already a tipped scale because there are other phones in the market for cheaper that will give you better specs than these. The Redmi Note 9 Pro exists, and for that you're getting it around the $275 mark, and you're getting a Snapdragon 720G. You're getting 6 gigs of RAM. Yes, 6 gigs of RAM is not much as opposed to the 8 that is here. You're getting a higher resolution camera, faster charging, more battery. All in all, when you check this phone and compare it to other phones, especially from brands like Xiaomi, it's already a mixed bag, and you can already tell that the Xiaomi gives better value for the money you're paying. Even other phones like the Infinix 08 and the Tecno Camon 16 are a bit more appealing when you look at this phone, because those phones have the MediaTek Helio G90T. Even the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 Pro, which had the MediaTek Helio G90T as well, is a much better buy than this, and it's much cheaper now. The only difference in this phone from the past iterations of it is just the charging speed, which has actually been downgraded to 18 watts. I don't understand why they would rebrand the phone and actually do that. But in case you are wondering whether there was any difference between the rebranded ones and this one, no, there isn't any difference. But now that I've taken my time to bash this phone and say you shouldn't buy it, let's actually take a cool-headed look at this. Which kind of people is this phone for? I mean, what does the everyday average consumer actually look for when they want to buy a phone? A big screen. As long as it has a good resolution, they're fine, and they can watch 1080p content. It has a 48 megapixel main camera. Good. It has decent battery, 4000 mAh. Check. It has fast charging, 18 watts. You can charge this battery in just over 2 hours. Check. This phone still checks every box that any regular, everyday consumer wants. And I think that's who this phone is actually targeted for. If you're someone who still doesn't believe in trading battery life for a high refresh rate screen, this is probably a good buy for you. Basically, if you're someone who still thinks in 2018, then sure, you can 100% go for this phone and you will be fine with it. But the problem is, the average consumer does not want to spend a lot of money on a phone. And this phone, with its cost, is massively undercut by the offerings from Xiaomi and some other brands. So it's really hard to say that you can go for this. I would recommend you don't. But those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think about this phone in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.